All right, guys, I know it's been a while since the last time we played, but I'm going to move us to our first scene and then set it up and talk a little bit about what happened before. So this is later in the night from where we ended last time. If you guys remember, what happened was there was that portal that was opened accidentally by Slash using that dagger to the negative zone, and Sigurd and Agatha both jumped in to try to seal it. And then from you guys' perspective, Jude and Slash, that portal just closed. Remember, Daedalus and his compatriot managed to portal or teleport themselves away, but this negative zone portal closed, and that's all you knew. Well, Slash, before all that had happened, you tossed your cell phone. Remember, you dialed in Agent Jensen, you tossed your cell phone into the portal. Well, what's happened is a few hours later, actually, maybe less than an hour later, Agent Jensen and some SHIELD operatives have showed up, and they've quarantined the entire graveyard with you guys inside of it. They've removed that dagger, which you tossed away, Slash, and actually had like a robot pick it up because they were terrified to touch it. And Agent Jensen has been talking with other agents of SHIELD, and they've been going around the graveyard just sort of canvassing it, but there is no sign of Sigurd or any sign of Agatha or Daedalus or anyone like that. It's just been you two and the guys from SHIELD for a while. So what have you two been up to?
Probably just milling about nervously. Slash probably feels like a kid getting called into the office at school. Because he's still the youngest one, and he definitely had a moment of like, oh no, over his head, wide-eyed, just he's just completely out of his element right now. So he's just probably silently just found a place to sit. He's kicking rocks and just not sure what to do next.
I would say Jude is probably not doing much of anything. I don't think so. Because she was very unsettled by the whole interaction. She didn't expect to meet Daedalus right now. And Sigurd is gone. And she is not home like she's supposed to be. She's quietly freaking just completely out.
Yeah, in a playback, a lot happened to Jude. So we found out that stone that she was carrying from the container way back to our very first mission, that Daedalus had been hoping that she would carry that stone to him somehow. He might have known about it, but he used that. He charged it with energy from the negative zone, and he took off with it. He was also able to control Jude or stop her actions in some way, which was also a unexpected turn.
Yeah, she's very unhappy about that. So I think she's probably just sitting by one of the graves, just like waiting for everything to be over so she can leave.
And then Jude also did a little bit of magic using that sling ring that you got from Agatha to open a portal that brought you guys here in the first place. Some time passes by as the agents are starting to clear out. It's probably around 2 or 3 in the morning. And Jensen, he walks over to you two. He's been really leaving you alone, giving you your space. And he says, well, do you guys have anything I should put down in the official report? Any idea what may have happened to your friend?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Do you guys know anything about this? Is there any way you could get him? Is he still alive?
I gotta confess, Mr. Slash, this is a little outside of my jurisdiction. I've sent it up to Flagpole to some of our contacts to see if they can give us any information, but this is a little bit of stuff I don't normally deal with.
I don't know if this was magic or some interdimensional rift or some Star Trek bullshit. I don't know what this was. I just know I was seeing like 5 of the same person. Jude here seemed to be frozen in her. I don't know. It's all a bit much for me.
I don't know if it's any Star Trek bullshit, as you said, Slash. I don't hear anything about a Boba Fett or anything, but like I said, I've set up some feelers to see if we can get some information. Was it just you three? Can you outline again for me? I took some notes, but if you could give me your statement again on who all was here and what happened.
I think Slash looks to Jude to answer.
And Jude's gonna take a while to answer. I don't even know if Jensen had gotten a proper statement from Jude on or how much he knows about what actually happened. So I think Jude is probably just going to say, well, we came here. There was these two people here, and they wanted the knife, and it opened a portal, and then they're gone. They took some energy from the portal. Don't know what that's about. And now Sigurd is gone. And honestly, I can't tell you any more than that because I have no idea any more than that.
Okay,
And
well,
she's just gonna start walking away, actually.
that sounds like you two have been through a lot. Why don't I give you a ride somewhere?
I guess. I don't want to be here.
Well, it's a long way back to town. I can give you a ride. It would certainly be a long walk.
I know I don't look it, but I actually don't spend a lot of time in graveyards, so yeah, I prefer to get away from here.
Sure. Let's go back.
And he walks you over to his very futuristic looking car. The other agents have cleared out, and you see a van driving off, which is the van they put the knife in, and the robot took it into the van, and that's kind of all packed and moving away. So it's just you guys. The delay is your GM looking for the car scene.
That's okay.
I can't believe he's gone. Honestly, I thought that guy was strong enough to do anything.
And the car drives silently for a while, and Jensen has some low music again. He's just sort of paying attention to driving.
Jude's gonna open her phone and see if there are any messages during the several hours that they've been gone.
You haven't gotten any messages from Young Me.
She'll turn it off again.
Well, where am I taking you to?
What time is it?
It's like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Anywhere you want to head?
I don't know what time bars close in Boston.
We'll pretend we call it the Rowdy Cow is open pretty late.
All right, so Slash, yeah. I don't know. I guess take me to the Rowdy Cow Parlor. Maybe Tony will be able to make me feel better with some stupid jokes. He always has something stupid. Seems real stupid now, though.
I mean, even stupid can have its use.
Yeah, I guess I'm evidence of that. Grabbing that stupid knife.
And what about you, Miss Flores? Should I take you also to the Rowdy Cow Parlor?
Um, sure, I can get home from there. That's fine. Save you the trip.
And Sigurd, does anyone know? Did he have any family or anyone that I should contact?
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, no
Eh.
offense, but I think bad news coming from you wouldn't go over well. Not that we're much better.
Well, it's always good to hear these sort of things from people you know.
I don't even know what to say. Is he? I don't know what to say.
Well,
Figure it out.
in my experience, it's best to oh shit, and he hits the brakes. And as he hits the brakes, you guys come to a stop, and you're sort of on a country road just outside of Salem, headed towards Boston. So, not exactly in the city, but you look outside, and just outside the car are two shadowy figures that are just sort of gliding down the road. And as they come into view, they look sort of like clouds of ink that sort of have a silhouette of a person as they're moving towards you. There's two of them. And Jensen looks up. Where did those guys come from?
I think Slash is holding his head because he definitely was not wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, he slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, I hit the back of the seat hard. Oh, dude, like, where did you learn to drive? Oh,
He puts his hand up. You guys stay in the car, and he steps out, and he pulls out a walkie-talkie, and he says to it, "This is Jensen. I've got a code 12. I need to back up immediately."
dude, what's a code 12?
Code 12 is you
These
stay in the
guys
car.
look familiar to you at all?
I don't know. I think I open the car door and step out. After everything that's happened, I feel like I don't want to be trapped in the car.
You step out of the car, Slash. You hear in that same voice that you heard before, the one that you heard when you were holding the dagger, and it says, "Come closer, come closer." And it sounds like it's coming from these two creatures that are walking down the road towards you.
You know what? I think I lean back into the car and say, Jude,
Yeah.
don't be alarmed. But I think there's something in my head telling me to walk closer to this, whatever this is. Should I do that? What do you think?
No. No.
All right. I just needed to be reassured that that was a bad idea. Because your brain telling you to do something, usually you just go with it.
No, you don't. You think about the implications first. It's a bad idea. Just let's sit in the car, because the worst they can do is throw the car.
All right, I get back into the car, but I kind of leave the door open an inch just so I can get out quick.
And Jensen, he reaches into his coat and he pulls out a pistol, and he's walked over to the front of the car and he's shouting at them to hold their position, and they're continuing to walk towards him. A few seconds pass and he opens fire at one of them on the left, and it looks like the bullets pass straight through it, and it's continuing to advance towards you guys.
And Agent, sir, maybe get back in the car.
And he takes another few shots, and then one of them, I'll say this one on the left, reaches forth it looks like an arm. There's really no details in these creatures. It's just like a black outline of, it's like ink almost, and smoke. And it reaches what looks like an arm, and it grabs Jensen, and he gives a shout. And he kind of falls to his knees and drops his gun.
Jude, I don't know how to drive. Just throwing that out there.
How far is Jensen from the car?
Maybe 8 or 10 feet.
I'm gonna try to do something out there, but I want to see if I can use the sling ring to sling us and the car back to Boston.
Sure. That is, first of all, it's going to be a plus freak roll for me, please.
I'll mark that potential.
So, Jude, as you focus with the sling ring, maybe you repeat the gestures that Agatha showed you, and maybe it's the stress or circumstances may have changed, but as you're doing the motion, there's just like a little spark in front of the car, but nothing else.
Maybe the things that
I was also trying to move a lot, so I accept that.
It's probably like in D&D where it's like once a day.
I mean, maybe. Do you guys want to go? Like, maybe we shouldn't stay in the car.
Are those two shadowy figures? Are they moving towards Jensen, or are they now moving towards the car? Are they kind of going past him?
Yeah, the one that grabbed him, that sort of immobilized him because he's fallen to his knees and he's holding his arm where it grabbed him. They just walked around him and they're continuing on opposite sides of the car towards you guys.
Yeah, let's maybe just back us up a bit, Jude.
Yeah. At least Jude is going to get out of the car and start running away.
Oh, I thought you were going to drive.
No, I'm not driving.
Okay. Yeah, I see Jude run. I look back towards the driver's seat, be like, all right. And then I follow Jude.
As you guys exit the car, a wind starts picking up. It's just a low breeze, and then it gets very, very quickly much heavier, to the point to where, dust is kicked up and the trees start bending, leaves are blowing around and everything, almost to the point where it gets difficult to see because the wind is just blowing at you so quickly. And then you see something drop out of almost the darkness completely and land on the car. And the car, kind of jumps as this thing hits the top. And then the wind starts to subside. And on the top of the car now is Sigurd. I'm going to move you guys over here because I'm assuming you ran in opposite directions. So Sigurd, why don't you describe to us what you look like now?
So last we saw Sigurd, he was, I think I said he was borderline 18, 19. He definitely looks more like a young 20s now. Like, it's obvious the time has passed. Maybe the lines on his face are a little bit more pronounced. His normal expression has changed to be a little bit more grim. Like, before it was decidedly neutral. Now it's sort of that, I don't want to call it resting bitch face, but there's kind of a little bit of a frown to his expression. He's still wearing his glasses, and in fact, that and the hairstyle is probably what identify him as Sigurd. But the hair itself, there are now these very prominent, or at least more prominent, streaks of white on either side of his head. And outfit-wise, he's definitely wearing something different than he was before. Like, he went in with, maybe normal-ish street clothes. Now he's in what appears to be some form of a darker jumpsuit. And as long as GM Josh is okay with it, I would like to flavor it that it's like looking at darkness, but the darkness looks back at you. So it's almost like an impossible color, if that makes any sense.
Sure, I like it.
But as he have a Vanta Black suit, okay.
Yeah, Vanta Black's a good one. I couldn't remember the name of the damn thing, so. But he slowly rises, takes a look around, and I think he notices Slash and Jude, and he's about to say something, but then he sees Jensen and the shadow creatures. And instead of, giving the witty one-liner of coming back, he simply says to everyone, well, this is not how I expected to return. You are in quite the pickle, aren't you?
We are? I don't even know what we're in right now.
And just to clarify, GM Josh, Jensen is still in Shadow Grip or no?
He is not. And in fact, the two creatures that were moving on the opposite side of the car, once you guys both exited, Jude and Slash, the two creatures sort of just let you run away, Jude, and they both turn slowly towards Slash, and they've started to move. Like the one that was on the other side of the car from you, Slash, is moving around, and the one that's closer is moving towards you. They both just have completely ignored Sigurd as he's dropped out of some place onto the car.
What? I don't like this at all.
I'll try to explain later, Slash, but I think I got this. And Sigurd's going to hop off the car and step between the shadow creatures and Slash. And he's going to let them come to him. But specifically, I think this means I get to roll before we get started.
Yeah, before we get started, let's talk about this, because we are entering battle against a dangerous foe. Would there be one of you guys would designate yourself as a leader? Maybe Sigurd in this case?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, for this fight, I think I'm not even sure Slash is ready to fight anything. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Sigurd, remind me, do you have influence over everyone?
I think I definitely have it over Slash. I don't think I have any over Jude, though.
Yes, you do.
Did I? Let me see, because it's not on my character sheet. Oh, because it was something Jude gave me, not the other way around.
Yep.
Yeah, that counts.
So I guess, yes, the answer is yes. I have influence over everyone but Jensen.
And I think you guys all have the same purpose. What I'm doing is totaling up the team I'm going to give you when we get started. Do any of you guys mistrust Sigurd at this point?
I don't think so.
Maybe we'll see if at the end of this fight, maybe.
Okay, I'm totaling that up. That gives you guys 3 additional teams, so you're starting this encounter out with 4. Sigurd, these 2 creatures are moving. They're not really paying attention to you, but you've just dropped down in the path of one of them that's trying to get around you to head towards Slash. What do you do?
All right. Well, my new move, quote unquote, before we get started, when you have time to closely observe your opposition before a fight, roll a savior, and then it gives you a bunch of things. Would that apply here?
I think in this case it would, and if we learn more about these things, maybe it'll become more apparent, but I think without giving you too much background, you might have some idea what these things are. Yeah, so I think it fits.
Okay, so I've rolled this. And on a 7 and 9, I get 2 points. And during my fight, I can spend those points on things. It's sort of like Nova, but it's different. It's less explodey. So the first thing I'd like to do is spend one of my points I just got to channel energy into my fist, and almost like Iron Fist, if any of you have seen that show, where he kind of does that force punch type thing. And I want to try and stun from a distance at least one of these shadow creatures.
So I think that sounds like you are directly engaging a threat. So if you could roll plus danger for me.
Sure. And it's been a while, so remind me what team can do for me.
So anyone who's working with the team, which in case you are because you're kind of protecting Slash, you can spend one of the team points to give yourself a +1 on that roll.
Would people be okay with me doing that?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
You're the team leader.
And I don't believe there's a cap, so I think you could, or actually, off the top of my head, I want to say it's like 2. I think you can only spend 2 at a time for a single roll, but you could give yourself a +2 if you spent 2.
Nah, I'll just spend the 1.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is, hey, I get potential out of it.
So what happens? Maybe
happens? Oh, go ahead.
As you're charging to get ready for your attack, the creature maybe identifies you as a threat, and it reaches also one of its milky black hands towards you. If you could roll for taking a powerful blow, you don't have any conditions currently. We're going to mark all those off. So you just do a flat 2d6 for me. Remember, you want to roll low here.
I've rolled a 7.
So you can choose one: lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. So you could inflict a condition on one of your teammates, or you can give ground to your opposition and give them an opportunity, or you can struggle past the pain and take 2 conditions. You can choose one of those.
I'll give ground.
Okay.
Do we still have our conditions from last time, or was there enough time to kind of...
I think because of the way that we ended Slash and Jude, you guys still have your conditions.
Okay, perfect.
That makes sense.
We basically did
guess
a
I've
reset
kind
of
of been
Sigurd.
role-playing into it anyways.
Yeah. So Sigurd, as you try to attack this thing, it just moves in closer, and maybe you dodge out of its reach as it's reaching its hand towards you. But you've given it an opening towards Slash, and that's actually what it continues to do. So Slash, at this point, it's making its way towards you. It's gotten past this first one has made its way past Sigurd. Well, what are you doing?
I think I kind of want to unleash my power and attempt to push it back a bit, just with the force of my... So
it's
see.
probably directly engaging a threat because it's also going to come at you. If you could give me a plus danger. Want to offer up you guys have 3 teams. You could always spend one of those or more if you'd like.
I will just go for it.
This thing, once it gets past Sigurd, moves very, very quickly. And you've noticed as you've gotten into the darker part of the street, so away from the street lamp that's here, it's becoming even more difficult to see, and it looks like it's moving faster. And it does manage to get you within reach, and it's actually reaching towards you. If you can also roll to take a powerful blow for me, just a flat roll, but you have to add your conditions.
Roll plus conditions. I have 2.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
So you choose one, remove yourself from the situation, you pass out, you lose control of yourself, or you can choose 2 options from that other list, which, like I said before to Sigurd, is you lash out at folks, you give ground, or you struggle past the pain and take 2 conditions.
Let's look at this. I'm already insecure and afraid. I think maybe I lose control.
Okay, what happens when Slash loses control?
I have no idea. I don't know if he's ever lost control. He's not like explosive like some of the other characters. Maybe I just pass out. Or maybe this thing hurts me and I like it knocks me out.
How about this? I'll offer this up to you. That voice inside of your head is still calling you to walk towards it. If you lose control of yourself in a terrible way, something will happen with him that may not be expected. Basically, you could give in to what he's asking, like give in to what this voice is telling you and actually walk towards this thing.
I don't think he's there yet.
Okay.
Like he's probably so afraid of it that at this point he's probably not even thinking about that. There's no way that voice. Maybe if I was even worse off, like I was hopeless, but I'm not that. So I think I just like maybe the fear gets me, and I pass out, or maybe I run and I just like lose control and I just like go into a ball and I can't.
Maybe as you're backing forward, because the road is kind of slick, you fall like down onto your butt, and just the fear of this thing moving towards you, you're just paralyzed. You can't take action.
Yeah, that works for me. That makes
so across
sense.
the way, Jude, you've witnessed all of this happening. What's Jude doing?
Well, What is the one that's closest to me doing?
It's
Is it
working
just
its way
moving
around the
away?
car. Sorry, it's working its way around the car to get the slash from the other direction.
Okay. I want to engage the one that's closest to me because Sigurd is going to get the one that's further away. So I want to see if I can at least distract it, if not actually engage it.
How would you do that?
I think Jude is probably going to use her powers in the normal way that she just like, I don't know if it's actually a person. That's the hard part. But I think she's just gonna go under the assumption that it is and try to take energy from it to weaken it, but we'll see if that works with its physiology.
Let's try to. I think this is probably an unleash your powers. Let's
Sure.
do a plus freak. Okay. Let's see. I could make you mark a condition. I don't think so, but I think in this case, what happens is you start to draw this energy from it using your powers. And do you remember how you were weak before from the whole situation with Daedalus? You actually feel a step weaker. It's not going to be a condition, but you start to feel kind of ill from this thing. But you notice that as you've done this, it's started to fade out, like it's becoming transparent, so you can actually see through it. But it has paused motion and it stops after you've done this. It's turned at this point. It kind of turns and looks right at you. It's no longer moving on to slash, but whatever you did have an effect on it in some way. Like it doesn't look the same, but it's now its attention is fully on you.
And it had an effect on me too.
Yeah,
As it always does.
you feel a little not normal, which you weren't feeling great
Yeah.
before. You don't feel very good. Sigurd?
So I've got one on Slash, which is probably the biggest problem. I've got one advancing on Jude. I don't know that Jude is feeling weaker unless she has shouted to the effect. So
Nope.
I think I'm going to try and save Slash. And I'm still doing the Iron Fist thing, but instead of going for like a palm strike this time, I'm gripping where I would perceive maybe a neck to be in an attempt to maybe do a chokehold from behind kind of a thing.
Okay. And while you're doing this, it looks like Jensen's trying to get himself to his feet and head for his gun, which he dropped. But if you can do that plus danger again, you're directly engaging a threat.
Could I persuade you to do a savior because I am defending Slash?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
10, full hit.
I'm looking at the move for defend. Let's see. So you've made slash safe, but you get to pick one of these. You can add a team to the pool. You can take influence over someone you protect, which might just be Jensen at this point, or you can clear a condition. I'll say you could clear one of your teammates' conditions.
I would like to clear Slash. You said you had insecure and afraid.
Yes.
You are no longer afraid. And this is accomplished by Sigurd as the hand reaches through with light and sort of grips the shadowy creature. Sigurd just says in a very fatherly tone, "I need you on your feet, soldier. Help me out with this thing."
And I don't think it's the words that do it, but I think it's the fact that it looks like you can actually affect these things, whatever they are.
And where Sigurd's hand is closed over the throat of this thing, it looks like it's starting to eat away at the blackness that it's composed of, and it's just starting to just wash away almost. Like it is definitely having an effect on it.
And before we switch to someone else, I do kind of look between my hand, the lamppost, and back at the creature, and I say, "Best guess, they're affected by light. If you've got anything that can cause a light burst, the stun grenade, I don't know, a cell phone camera, anything.
I don't think I have anything. I don't even know if I picked up my cell phone.
I want Jude to take out her phone and turn on the light, like the flashlight function on her phone. See if that does anything.
Are you going to point it at either one of them, or what's the action?
Yeah, the weak one.
This guy? Okay. Why don't you do it directly engage the thread for me? And that is, sorry, that's just a plus danger.
Nice.
Oh.
At least I get another potential.
You get a potential from using your cell phone incorrectly. I love it.
When you turn on,
did I get one from before?
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Do I get one from when I rolled a 6 before?
Yeah, you always get a potential when you miss.
I forgot.
Yeah. Right. Even in a take a powerful blow, if you miss, if you roll low, you always get to take a potential.
Luckily, I rolled really high for that powerful blow.
So Jude, as you pull out your camera and you turn on the flash, maybe you just, if you wanted to, you've got a greatly lit scene. You could take a great photo of the shadowy creature as it's moved towards you. Unfortunately, while you're setting up the scene, you get set to portrait mode maybe on your phone, but it doesn't seem to stop the creature as it's moved in towards you and it's reached out a hand. If you could take a powerful blow for me, it's just plus conditions on a 2d6.
Yeah, let's have fun with that. Oh
dear.
No?
High is bad in this case, unfortunately.
I know, but I am one potential away from leveling up.
So again, you have those options, none of which are very great. You could remove yourself from the situation. You could lose control of yourself, or you could take 2 options on the other list, which include lashing out, giving ground, or struggling past the pain, which would give you 2 conditions.
I think Jude is going to lose control with her powers. I have the feeling you're going to make me mark my doom track, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I absolutely am, but you also have to describe what it looks like, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think what is going to happen? I want to see her basically start like absorbing some of those shadows, and then it just gets like more and more faint. But then Jude obviously starts looking extremely like ill, almost nauseous even. I don't know what else she'll be able to do after that, but it's probably pretty sick looking.
As Jude starts to do this, the light the light here, the big traffic light, starts to dim, and then it starts to flicker, and it completely goes out, and there's only light from the ones that are further down the road. But Jude, as you're doing this, you see that the inky appearance of the creatures begin to even pull off of them even more, and the one that was near you that's transparent just completely turns transparent, and he fades away as this black ink that you're pulling out of him actually flies into you, and he's completely evaporated. But even further, as you're doing this, the second one, he turns towards you as like the inky substance that he's composed of continues to pull off of him, and he just like gets sucked into you, and they are both completely gone. But yeah, Jude, at this point, I'd say everyone else, you guys can all notice. I mean, apart from the fact she just absorbed these terrible shadow creatures, she looks terrible.
I have a question. It's mostly a thematic one, but so would you say that this condition, has it left scars across her arms or something? Has it given her black sclera? How is this manifesting itself in a way that we could see, maybe?
Or does she just look really tired?
I'll let Jude describe that to us. What does that look like?
I want to say that Jude looks extremely pale, like the faint dark circles under her eyes look terribly dark now. And she just looks like faint, barely on her feet.
So somewhere between raccoon eyes and anemic, then. Well, I think Sigurd is first thing he's going to do. He's going to extend a hand to Slash and help Slash to his feet.
Yeah, I don't hesitate, but Slash is like half here, half somewhere. He's still completely out of it. Like, what the fuck? What was the? And then they went in the light and then the agent guy is still down. What? He just completely confused.
Is the car over by Jude?
Yeah, it's between you guys. It's the big open space, probably like right here. There's car.
I'm gonna have her go sit in the car. Just with the door open. She wants to sit down.
Jensen favoring his arm, he's picked up his pistol and, he's not pointing it at anyone, but he's holding it. And he says, okay, that was unexpected. Is everyone okay?
I sort of just glance between Jude and Slash, and I answer for them by saying, I think these two are going to need some time, Agent Jensen.
Jude's gonna delete the picture of the shadow guy off her phone.
It's a great picture. It's well, framed. It's lit very well.
Nope. It's gone.
Aw. I was hoping it was going to be like a Weeping Angel scenario where like the picture was going to turn into more shadowy creatures.
No. That's not something I'm dealing with.
Slash just gets in the car too and just kind of like zones out.
At this point, Jensen, he walks over to you, Sigurd, and you guys have that conversation I prepped you for beforehand. And from inside the car, Jude and Slash, you see Jensen is like, he's having a very stirred conversation with Sigurd. And you can kind of hear you can hear some parts, it's kind of muffled, but you hear one sort of phrase or piece of the conversation. And Jensen says, you remember that offer that I made you before? It's not optional anymore.
I think knowing what I know now, that's probably the best way to proceed forward anyway.
And he hands you a phone.
What's this?
You need to keep this on yourself at all times, Mr. Sigurd. It kind of comes with the territory. But the good news is you'll always have backup.
Well, I actually have two, I don't want to call them demands, Agent Jensen, but I do have two minor conditions, if you'll allow me.
Very well. Let's maybe talk in the car. I need to drop you guys off, and I'm going to maybe go to a hospital or check in with a medic.
And does it look like his arm is like obviously broken? Is it dislocated?
It looks like it was some kind of like cold burn. Like his sleeve is smoking a white smoke. It really looks like a burn, really.
Okay, so there's nothing unfortunately that I can do. And I say, if you're okay to drive, I could take the wheel if need be.
No, I'm sorry. I can't let you drive my car.
Is it because I'm not on your insurance? And I give him a smile. I mean, it's obvious Sigurd is trying to, de-escalate the tension.
And he just stares at you blankly.
I'll get you a laugh eventually, Jensen.
Back in the car, he's driving back towards the city, but I imagine it's pretty quiet with everyone in the car for a while. Jude's like, I'm out of the front seat.
She went into the closest seat to where she was.
As you guys are driving back.
Flash, as soon as the doors close from Jensen and Sigurd getting into the car, Slash has a moment of clarity. He's like, Sigurd, where the fuck did you come from? What the hell happened to you?
Well, It's a long story. And I sort of look at the dashboard. Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. Apparently, I've been elsewhere for the better part of a year. And for you all, it took a few hours. That's kind of cool, actually.
We thought you were dead. Well, I thought you were dead.
Not gonna lie, it was a pretty touch and go there when I first showed up in the other side. But I got a lot of answers. I got a lot of questions that have been nagging me for the longest time. Yeah, I mean, I can try and tell you what I know, but I don't know how much of it is just going to make sense in our current state. And he says it in a way that he's not like implying that he's not going to tell you, but he's also trying to imply like you guys have been through a lot of shit. So he's giving you an out if you want it.
I would like to go home, please. We can talk about this another time.
Yeah, I think someone's pissed off at her. I feel like I've been severely wounded personally, like just inside, like my soul. So I need to like sit down for a bit. I'd like to not be here. But nice to see you back here, Sigurd. You look pretty good.
Oh, thank you. You look pretty much as I remember you.
Notice how he doesn't say like great.
Yeah,
Or,
he deliberately
cool.
does not use the words great or good because I'm not so sure that based on what's going on with you and Jude that either of you look in great condition right now.
No, I think we both look terrible.
If I lower the
Jude is, like,
armrest,
5 miles back.
Yeah. If I lower the armrest back in the back seat, is there a fridge with cold drinks?
Oh, of course.
I grab a bottle of water.
It's that like artisanal water, hand delivered from the springs of northern Maine. Looks very expensive.
Slash doesn't even look at what it is. He just opens it up, takes a sip, and then instantly falls asleep. Probably spilling all over himself.
And as you're driving, as you guys are going along, you hear a loud sigh from Jensen, and you look up and you guys are getting into that morning traffic. And he starts fiddling with the radio.
So about those 2 items, Jensen.
Remind me what the 2 items are? I forgot already.
Oh, we haven't even had that conversation yet, so.
Oh yes. He says, just a moment, Mr. Sigurd. I'm going to drop off your friends first. Jude, you said you'd like to go home?
Yeah, and she's gonna give him the address, which I don't know offhand because I don't know Boston addresses.
Yeah, 100 something street. It's fine. All right, let's see if I can get you there faster. And he starts playing some classical music. And when the music starts playing, he starts weaving very effectively through traffic. And going very, very quickly as he's weaving through traffic.
If being an agent doesn't work out for you, you should pick up Uber.
No, I hear Lyft's better.
And he's not even paying attention to you guys as he's driving through. He's almost in like a zen mode as he's doing this with one hand, by the way, because the other hand he's kind of got it tucked next to his body because it's injured.
He's playing Crazy Taxi.
I think most people work for both nowadays, so he'll be fine.
Much faster than he should have, Jude, he's gotten you to the entrance of your apartment.
Jude's gonna get out with very little fanfare and head on up 8 flights of stairs back to her apartment.
And
That'll
Jensen,
be a long walk.
Jensen watches her go and he turns to you, Sigurd, because / you're snoring in the back, right?
Yep.
He turns to you, Sigurd, and he says, well, somebody really needs to look out for her.
I don't know that my watching over her would be something she'd want right now. Otherwise, yes, I would agree with you. Do you maybe have an agent that could keep tabs, or?
He looks back to Slash, and then he looks to you, Sigurd, obviously thinking that you guys have a level of privacy now. Sigurd, let's call that your first assignment.
And what are the details of said assignment?
I'd say nothing really that you wouldn't maybe do on your own. Just keep an eye on her. We didn't talk about it, but I can't just forget about what happened back there. She absorbed those creatures. First of all, I don't even really know what they were, but it didn't seem to be something that was very good for her.
Out of character. During my time in the Negaverse, did I learn what those might be?
Yeah, you've seen those before, which was when you were asking me about, your first move, or if you knew these things. Yeah, you've seen them before. Those are called negative shades, and they're basically negative energy from the negative zone.
Okay. So I paraphrase and I say, well, based on what I experienced on the other side, it would be like a concentrated shadow energy has entered Jude. Imagine all the negative feelings, all the self-doubt, the loathing, the questioning, basically every negative emotion you could think of. That is the essence of these creatures. At least that is how I understand them.
Oh, that sounds great. That's great. Yeah, I feel even more assured about the decision to have you watch her. I think that's an even better idea now.
All right. Well, unless you literally kick me out of the car right now, my plan is that I'm going to give her at least 8 hours of rest, and then I will be knocking on her door.
Okay. What about your 2 requests?
Well, the first one's pretty easy, Agent Jensen. I'm going to need $200 in cash.
Oh, that's easy. And he hands you a credit card. Just don't go crazy.
Didn't plan on it. Second thing, I'm going to need, do you have a notepad or a pen and paper I could use?
You could use that cell phone I handed you. We are, this is the 21st century.
Oh, it's a touchscreen tablet thing. Neat. And I pull it up and I begin drawing something. And I say, and this is something that GM Josh, we probably will have to hash it out later, but I'll throw it out there. During my time on the other side, I was learned that my people, which I'm still getting used to saying my people, we use a traditional style of weapon. Really, it's more a font for our energy. It's a way we control ourselves by bleeding the excess into this crystalline structure. Personally, I'm not a real fan of carrying around a spear or a sword made out of crystal, but maybe a shield, just, very, very simple shield, maybe done in old medieval style. And I show him the drawing, and it's just, it's a list of compounds. It would be like someone memorizing the way, like the directions to make a cookie, but Sigurd might not have an intimate understanding of what each step does.
Okay, this is interesting. Let's talk about the detail that you just dropped on me. Your people, you're from another planet?
So that is, since it's been a while, I'm going to need you to remind me on that one, GM Josh. I've been trying to find my notes on this, and they're like half written, so I'm not sure I've got the full picture.
So what the guy said, and he didn't give you much detail. He just gave you like the exact answer to your question. He told you that you are the child of the name of the race is the Kalanti, a Kalanti princess, and a Deo. Their father was, the name of the race is a Deo, which is from another planet. He said that they were married in secret and that you were their offspring. And that's kind of all that he told you.
Well, Jensen, I know that I'm the child of a Kalanti and a Deo. Apparently it was a secret union, but the end result is, me. I wasn't really able to get in contact with either parent or really anyone from the species, but if you know of the Kalanti or the Deo, now would be a very good time to tell me.
I'm being completely truthful when I say this, Sigurd. I have no idea what those are.
Cool. Then we're almost on the same page. I mean, I gleaned some details, like this whole shield thing. I gleaned some details from just being over there for a year. But yeah, I'm still very much looking for answers myself.
We're honestly, S.H.I.E.L.D. is rapidly trying to catch up to the events of the last year. We felt like we had a pretty good handle on terrestrial threats, but with the whole Thanos thing and creatures from outer space now attacking the Earth, we're starting to realize that we are very, very small fish in a huge pond.
That's pretty much the summary of my last year on the other side. It was a very, very eye-opening and harrowing experience.
But I will say this.
Chatting. Go ahead.
I will say this. I'll pass your information along, and if there's anyone in the department that knows much about those, I'll make sure you hear about it.
That's all I can hope for. You think you could get your people working on this whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing?
Yeah, we've got some people. I'll see what they can come up with. That should be interesting.
Excellent. All right, well, let's get this guy, and I point at Slash. Let's get this guy somewhere, and then I'm going to let you run off to a hospital.
So what should we do with him?
My uncle has a place. You might know the arcade. I think you've maybe been there before. He's got an extra bed in the back. Honestly, I feel wide awake. I can go without sleep. He can just have the bed I usually use.
Okay, very good. I was going to offer to take him to his parents, but I don't think he would want that.
There's a small pause as I sort of look back and look at Slash and say, honestly, I don't know what his relationship with his parents is, but based on the fact that from what I know of him, he sometimes sleeps on the street, it's probably not great. I can probably look into that too if you want.
It's actually all in the file. It's up to you. You could look, or you could ask him yourself. It's a very colorful situation.
I think Sigurd, being Sigurd, based on his previous experience, he's going to look at the file and then ask follow-up questions after the fact.
And Slash, I'll let you tell Sigurd what he would glean from that file.
Slash on his did I specify the birthday? I don't think I did. So on his 14th birthday, his mutant powers came about, and his parents instantly turned him in, or tried to, and they kicked him out of the house because they are strictly anti-mutant, as anti-mutant as anyone could get.
Does he have any siblings?
Yeah, he has a brother that's younger who also went along with the parents.
And what's his
He's
brother's
had no
name?
contact with them. I don't think I gave a name, but I can. It's probably. Let's go with James, and I'll write that down.
Cool.
Yeah, and as I, sort of thumb through the file as we're driving, I go, yeah, I definitely don't think parents is going to work for him.
All right, so I can take you to the arcade. It's just right around the corner, actually.
Oh, one more thing, Agent Jensen. I sort of lean in a little bit. I don't know how this works, but I think my 21st birthday is like next week, but I don't have proper documentation anymore. I kind of lost it when I went to the other side. Could you do that too? Probably should have made that a third thing, but Didn't occur to me till just now.
Also, don't worry about it. And he hands you a wallet. This will take care of any kind of credentials you ever need.
And Jim Josh, before I go, full Doctor Who on you, is this like the psychic paper that Doctor Who uses, or is this just a sort of a catch-all credenza type thing?
It's basically got, and it's funny because it's got pre-printed your information on it. Like maybe he's been carrying this around for a while. It's not a psychic paper or anything. This is printed, but it's got like the official SHIELD logo on it. It's got the SHIELD symbol. And it's just basically, if you're flashing this around to any sort of government agency, you've shown that you are above their jurisdiction, basically. And Jensen, once he hands it to you, he says, now realize, Mr. Sigurd, if you're working for SHIELD, you have a lot of power, but you also have a lot of expectations that go with it. I think it may go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you abuse any of this power, you won't abuse it for very long because you won't have your freedoms anymore.
Do you have perhaps a guidebook, a manual, or can I just access all that on the internet or the intranet as I hold up the phone again?
I think you probably know right from wrong. And if you have a question, give me a call. Don't destroy any city blocks anymore. And if you can, stay away from any news cameras.
I hear and understand you, Mr. Jensen. However, let me just say that I am itching for new reading material after not having any books for the past year. So I think I will delve into the rules, as it were.
We do have a binder. I've read it several times. It's not very exciting. I can see about getting it to you. But to sum it up, just follow your best judgment. We probably also have some videos back from the 80s, but I'm saving you a lot of trouble here.
If you insist, I feel like this is sort of a call to a greater responsibility, and I'd like to do it right.
And I certainly appreciate that. Consider this a trial run. I'll be watching you very closely. And in fact, several other people from SHIELD will be watching you. You're not going to have complete autonomy here. This is sort of to show us that we can trust you, a first step here. And I think, like I said, watching your friend, it's not anything differently that you'd be doing anyway. I'm just very concerned about this young lady.
Oh, this just occurred to me out of character. What's her name? The mage lady. What was her name again?
Agatha?
Agatha. We haven't seen any trace of her, right?
Nope.
Okay, then, and because Sigurd doesn't know that, Jude and Slash hasn't told him about Agatha, so he's going to say to Jensen, there was a witch or a sorceress. I'm not really sure what her official title is. Her name was Agatha. Something went down between her and the doctor that used to treat Jude. Honestly, I'm not really clear. I'm going to ask a lot of questions when I reconnect with Jude and Slash, but you probably want to be on the lookout for, and I give a verbal description of Agatha.
And Jensen's just like fixated on you as you're saying this. I had a feeling that Miss Flores was not giving me all of the information. Her statement doesn't mention any of this. So I don't know if she has anything that she's hiding or if she doesn't trust us or maybe both of those. But as far as your question, there was no trace of the woman at this location, and neither statements from Miss Flores or Slash spoke anything about her or a doctor that she worked with. If you can get information on either of those, that would be very valuable.
Right. I'll just add that to the list. If it helps with this Agatha character, if I remember correctly, we went to a house. What was that house? Oh, right. The Paul Revere house. Apparently she has like a secret lab or something. You just walk through the wall and you're in like a mausoleum of ancient artifacts. It's honestly been literally a year, so I don't remember too much about it. But if she's not around, we probably want us. That's going to be weird saying us. We probably want to have our control over the items that are in that place.
And that's probably where that dagger came from. Hiding a magical sanctum in the Paul Revere house. That's a little odd.
Yeah, at the time I didn't really question it, but well, now I have lots of questions.
Well, I think I've given you enough to worry about, Mr. Sigurd. Like I said, I'm always a phone call away if you need. And out of character, what comes along with this, if you guys haven't picked up, is Sigurd is now in his new playbook, he's working for S.H.I.E.L.D. And Sigurd, how this works is you can call in S.H.I.E.L.D. for backup, but what happens is they will show up, as fast as dramatically appropriate. But as soon as they show up, they pretty much take over. So when you call the big guns at that point, when they show up, they're going to do what they think is best. So that may not always be what you want.
And I also love this little tidbit in the playbook that's like, on a hit, they will resupply you best you can, but on a miss, they'll just send whatever they think you need, regardless of what you actually wanted. So it's just I'm gonna need a car, a briefcase full of money, and they just send like a little tricycle with with Monopoly money. It's great.
You'll get a little Kia. Yeah, that's what you'll get.
Oh. But yeah, so at this point, I think we've gotten to the arcade. I do stop, obviously we disengage from Jensen. I say we'll be in touch, yada, yada, yada. I do make it a point to go to not the arcade's ATM, but a nearby ATM. I get $200. And when I walk into the arcade, I'm sure a certain uncle is ready to give me an earful.
And basically what the card that Jensen gave you doesn't have a limit on it. So that's what he was saying. Don't abuse it. When you ask $200, it doesn't give you like a balance or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, you've withdrawn the money, you walk in, and Joe, it looks like he's been pacing in the arcade, and as you walk in, he looks up. You too. Is Slash walking in, or are you sort of like dragging Slash in?
That's up to Slash, whether or not he's woken up at this point.
No, I think you'd have to wake him up to get him out of the car.
In that case, I'm princess carrying him.
If you can carry a skinny 60-year-old kid, then maybe he doesn't actually wake up. Maybe he's just asleep.
I was gonna say I have super strength now, so yes, I can.
Yeah, so you definitely can do that. I'm like a little baby.
He's probably a little oily and has too many sharp angles.
I'm gonna have to wash both myself and my clothes later.
Yep. But as soon as you walk in, Joe looks up, and it looks like he's been waiting for you to walk in all night, and he races over to you. Sigurd, what the hell's been going on? Are you all right?
Well, Uncle Joe, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but let me put this guy down first. Bed in the back still available?
Yeah, of course. So where's your other friend? Where's the girl?
Jude, she's back at her apartment, safe and sound.
I've been worried sick. I saw on the news something about a building falling down. You fighting some guy flying in the air. I was beside myself.
Don't worry, you can give me an earful in a moment. Let me just and I sort of maneuver around him towards the back, lay Slash down, sort of maybe hesitate to pull the covers over because we're going to have to wash those too. And in the end, I just say screw it and cover him up. And I walk back out and I say, do you still have those stools, Uncle Joe, somewhere in the back?
Oh, yeah.
We just need to sit down for this.
I'd say the arcade probably has a little bar off to the side, so he just motions you over. Does your friend need anything? Is he needing don't need to call a paramedic or anything?
No, I think it's just a lot of shock. A lot has happened to him recently, and I think he just needs time to process it all.
All right. Why don't you tell me what happened? And what's this gear up you're wearing? Where did this come from?
So I give him literally the play-by-play from when we last left the arcade to now. But when we get to the whole other side negative universe thing, I do gloss over some parts because I'm not sure of myself. And again, that's probably something you and I will have to discuss offline. But I do mention the whole child of the Calanti and the Deo, married in secret, yada, yada, yada. But to his specific question about the suit, I sort of end on this note and I say the suit is something that I was gifted by an individual on the other side. Her name is, I just called her, out of character, I got to think of a good name. I called her Crystal simply because she was like a living crystal creature. Her actual name was unpronounceable, or at least every time I tried, I messed it up. But long story short, I did a favor for her, and she gave me this suit. I don't really know what it does yet. I just think it looks cool.
I gotta say, I always knew this day would come. I hope that if I kept you away from it and I tried to give you a normal life, that you could blend in. And I just, your mother, she gave you to me. I promised her that I'd look after you, and I just hope that this would never happen.
So you are still in contact with my mother, or did she sort of just leave me?
Well, this is going to be, this might kind of be a, well, there's no easy way to put this. This might be kind of a shock. So just hold your seat for a second.
Holding the seat.
And Uncle Joe, his appearance shifts, and he is no longer Uncle Joe. The human appearance of him evaporates away, and there's a green alien with very sharp ears, and he has kind of sharp teeth. And he says, his accent's also gone. If you couldn't tell, I'm actually not from this planet.
I mean, I always had a feeling, but I kind of like you better with the accent.
God, well, it's. I always enjoyed it. I was like being in character, as it were. So I am the species I am is a Skrull. I became acquainted with your mother many years ago. She was far more kind to me than many others would have been. She did not abandon you. In fact, she saved both of us.
So we both owe her our thanks. Do you have a way of contacting her by chance?
I'm sorry I've waited this long to tell you, Sigurd, but she is dead. She gave her life to get us off the planet, her homeworld, Kalanti. Your grandfather, the king, he was very, very angry when he found out that you were born. Your mother was a diplomat to the planet of Deo, and that's where she met your father, and their wedding was in secret. Actually, your entire birth was a secret. And as soon as he found out, he was beside himself in rage. And your mother's last actions were putting you in my arms, telling me to protect you, and then fighting off the king's guard so we could escape.
And what of my father? Does he still live? Do we know?
Of him, I am not sure. I never met him. I know that the king, he exercised his wrath on the planet of Deo. If your father was on that planet, I don't see how he could have survived.
So I'm going to pencil that in as a maybe. Well, Uncle Joe, this has been rather enlightening. Should I still call you Uncle Joe? Do you have an actual name I should call you?
I would prefer Uncle Joe.
All right, Uncle Joe, I do have a present for you. And I reach in my pocket, and I pull out those crisp two $100 bills, and I just hand it to him. And I say, there you go. I thought you should have that.
I wanted to know where this came from.
I don't. You remember the people I told you I'm working for now?
This makes me uneasy, Sigurd. If you ally yourself to a greater force like this, they're not going to give you things like this money for free. It all comes at a price. And usually in this situation, the price is higher on your side.
Well, considering I didn't really have a choice in the matter, I'm just sort of making the best of it as I can. They seem to be decent people so far. They haven't told me to kill anyone, and I don't think they would, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
But you will, of course, please keep me in the loop what happens. I don't like being on the outside like this. The whole reason I took you to Earth to raise you here was I hoped on this backwater planet that you would be away from any kind of excitement or attention. And I can see in that decision I was completely wrong.
I almost like it's almost like dramatic irony where I just sort of point to the TV in the corner and there's like some superhero chase fight scene on the news. That's not us. It's just someone different. I just go, I don't know, Uncle Joe. I feel like this happens a lot.
It's true. However, your grandfather, the Talanti king, is still on the throne. It's not unheard of that if he were to find that you were on Earth, that he would send bounty hunters after you. I can't stress enough how unhappy he was about the union between your mother and father.
Bounty hunters. I will just add that to the growing list of things I have to look out for.
It's very serious, Sigurd. He destroyed an entire planet and killed his own daughter over it.
Oh, no. I may not sound it, but I am taking this completely seriously. I have simply found that when you don't have humans or human-like creatures to empathize with for an entire year, you kind of lose the, what do they call it? The empathetic expression.
Indeed. Well, what can I do to help you?
Well, for the moment, I know I'm not technically of age, but I don't know. I've always wanted to try a little bit of a drink.
Well, at this point, since all of our cards on the table, I don't see how it can hurt. It's an unusual tradition of this planet anyway. I'd say you can have whatever you want.
Cool. Do we have stuff to make a White Russian? I have no idea what a White Russian is, but I've heard good things.
Sure, I can work on that. And Slash, they're making a bit of noise. You know, as Joe is getting the drink together, it might have woken you up.
How do I roll just a d6?
The
The
commander
link
just
in the top left.
On a 6, I think I wake up.
So
Nope.
close.
So Joe passes you the drink, Sigurd.
I give it one of those cursory sniffs where like I'm not really sure how to do I sip it, do I shotgun it, and I take a very tentative sip and sort of do that lip smack thing where I go, that's interesting. I don't know if I would say I love it, but I definitely enjoy the taste. Question, Uncle Joe. You wouldn't happen to know anything about shadow creatures, would you?
Depends on the context. I've
let's
encountered shadowy creatures before.
I give them the description of the ones we faced tonight, and I say, any of that ring a bell?
I've heard of the negative zone before, but at least to my knowledge, I didn't think there was a way to actually cross over to the negative zone. It sounds as though these creatures are from there. It's not any technology I've ever witnessed before.
Yeah, from what I remember, the only reason we got there and the only reason I was there in the first place was a dagger. Guess I have to add that to the list. All right. Well, Uncle Joe, you mind if I play a few games while I wait for my buddy to wake up?
No, help yourself, of course, Sigurd, and you should probably get some rest as well.
Trust me, after my experiences, I don't think sleep's going to come easy for me, so it's just better for me to stay awake for the time being.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to go get a glass or get a cup of coffee at least. And he starts to head towards the door.
I motion at my face like,
Yes, thank you. I almost forgot. We wouldn't want the good people of Boston to get in a panic.
Very good, Uncle Joe. I'll be here. Thank you again.
And transitioning to Jude. So Jude, as you've made your way into your apartment, the sun is starting to come up, I'll say, but it looks like Youngmi might be in bed because, the living room in your apartment is empty.
Jude is going to quietly hang her keys back up, take her shoes off, and hang her coat up, and just to open up the door to the bedroom.
When you open the door, you do see Young Mi. She's curled up asleep, and then there's a knock at the door. The outside door to your apartment, not the bedroom door.
Yep. She's gonna close the door to the bedroom and just take a look through the peephole.
It's Marcel.
She'll open the door. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Jude. Where are your friends?
They went home. I mean, it's late. What's up?
Oh, sorry. I know it's still pretty early, but Margaret, she's in kind of a tizzy. This guy came around actually to all of the units yesterday, demanding us to pay them money or they'd kick us out. And I don't think she liked that very well. And anyway, I don't know what to do with her. She's really upset. You seem to be able to fix things.
Can I come by in a couple hours? I just got home. But
Yeah, sorry. I guess you might want to get some sleep. You look kind of tired. Sorry, I'd like to get out of there before she wakes up.
You can chill here if you want. I mean, you can watch the TV or whatnot, if that's fine with you.
Thanks. That's real nice, but I gotta get downstairs because Rusty's outside because, Margaret won't let me bring him in the house, so he's gotta stay outside. It's really stupid because he's lived in that apartment longer than she has.
I know. He can hang out here with you, though. I mean,
Oh,
you guys can
okay.
relax.
That's cool. I thought Young Mi was allergic to dogs.
I think she'll be fine if I explain it to her.
Cool.
Keep him off the couch, or I'll get a towel and he can lay on that.
Cool. Thanks. I'll go get him. You haven't seen anybody like that around, like asking for more money, have you?
No, they must have come by while I was gone. I'll ask Young Mi about it.
Oh, okay. I'll get Rusty and promise you won't even know we're here.
Okay. I'll leave the door unlocked for you.
Cool. Thanks, Jude. And he walks out.
And just like she said, she's going to leave the door unlocked. And just see what's going on in the other room, see if Young Mi is left a note or something.
No, she just went to sleep.
Yeah.
You've probably got about 2 hours or so from when she'd probably start waking up to start her day.
Mm-hmm. I think she is exhausted times like 10. So I think she's probably just going to change and lay down. I don't know if she'll necessarily sleep right away, but she'll try.
As you get into bed, you hear Marcel. He silently slips in. You do hear that, but then you hear Rusty doing the whole dog thing where he's obviously excited and racing around the apartment, maybe bumping into a few things, and you hear his feet on the hardwoods. And then the low voice of Marcel, like, get off the couch. She said, stay off the couch.
And if we want to time skip a little bit, we can.
I was gonna say we time skip a few hours. What time would Jude wake up, you think?
8:30 probably.
Okay. Jude, when you emerge out of your bedroom, you again notice that the apartment is empty.
Is the door locked at least?
Yeah, the door is locked, but Marcel, Rusty, and then Young Mi are gone.
Okay. Are there any notes on her phone or anything?
There are not any notes, but she did leave you some donuts that she got from Duncan.
Okay.
Or someone. Maybe Marcel did.
That's a start at least. She'll have something to eat, and she'll probably text Young Mi. What is she gonna write? I'm sorry for getting home so late last night. I'm gonna keep my schedule free today if you want to meet me after your test, and I can catch you up on everything.
And she texts you back that she'll see you tonight. It's very short, and she doesn't really go into much detail.
Okay, see you then. And I think she'll probably just eat something and lay back down again, not necessarily sleeping, just resting.
And maybe as you're done with your food, heading towards your bedroom door, there is another knock on the apartment door.
She'll take a look.
It's a
but
lady
she's
that
not
you.
gonna open it.
It's a lady you've never seen before. She looks like she might be sort of middle aged. She's wearing a leather jacket, and she's just sort of standing there in the hallway.
She'll wait a minute to see if anything happens.
And then on the other side of the door, the lady says, "I know you're there. Open the door. I'm not going anywhere."
She'll open the door just a little bit. Can I help you with anything?
And the lady says, "Hello, good morning. My name is Misty. I'm not going to bother you much, but I'm looking for this boy." And she holds up a photo, and it's a young kid. He looks like he might be 13 or 14. And she says, "Have you seen this guy? Have you seen this kid around?"
Do I recognize them?
Maybe let's do a plus superior. Let's do an assess the situation. Hey, very good. Okay, so you can ask one of these questions. What here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Who is the most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly? Or you could trade up all of those, I'll say, and I can give you some more information about this person.
I think I'll just have you give me some information.
The person that she is, like on the photo that she's holding up, looks a lot like Slash.
I don't really know this kid. I mean, he doesn't live in this building, at least.
Take a good look, Miss Flores. I've been pulling at all sorts of threads, and they've all led me here.
I don't think she pieces together that it would be an old photo necessarily. I think she thinks it's like a missing kid recent photo. So
It looks recent. It doesn't look like there's maybe a car in the photo that looks just a couple years old.
yeah, then I have never seen this kid before. I mean, he looks like anybody who you could find on the street.
Well, the boy's parents have hired me to find him. He ran away. Well, he disappeared. It sounds like he's been running away a lot. He disappeared, and they're looking for him. So I'm not going to give up. So if you have any information you can give me about this boy, or anyone you might know who is familiar with things going on in the street that might help me find him, his parents are very worried about him.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out. Do you have a number?
Yeah, she gives you a number.
I'll let you know if I figure anything out. Good luck with
All
your
right.
search.
Thanks. I'm sure I'll be seeing you around.
I can't believe we found Cut.
I love cut. I love it. But then again, you are alone again in the apartment, Jude.
Yeah, I think after a while of just lazing around, she's probably going to feel very restless just from everything that happened the previous day. So I think she'll end up going for a walk and probably end up over at the arcade, not meaning to, just wandering around. It's like, okay. Maybe Sigurd is there.
Okay.
That'll be a distraction.
So moving us on to Uncle Joe's. I'm going to take Uncle Joe out of here. We'll say some time has passed, a few hours. Jude, when you make your way into the arcade, it's actually I'd say maybe it's maybe a Saturday or something, and there are a few kids, and then adults also in the arcade. It's not super busy, but people have been filtering in and out. Slash and Sigurd, what are you guys up to?
Well, I think Sigurd is just at a machine, probably his favorite one. It's some pinball machine, probably themed after Jurassic Park or something to that effect. But unless Slash has woken up, Sigurd's just been handling the floor, as it were.
I think now Slash is awake, but he's not. He's just sitting at that. You said there was like a bar.
Yeah,
and he's just sitting there, like eating, like slowly eating, like the free peanuts. Like, he's rested now, but he's still a little processing. Like, within the last 24 hours, he's seen a future version of himself that wants to kill everybody. He's seen one of his friends pretty much die and then come back. He's had his mind screwed over by a knife, which is weird. And then he's seen shadow people that seem to want to kill him, that were then sucked into the body of another friend. So he's just like, I don't think he's seen anything like on this level before. All the stuff that he's done in the past has been simple, like bank robbers, or like just simple stuff, or he's used his powers to do little pranks. He's never seen stuff on this level. This is like he feels over his head, and he's just in shock, sitting there by himself. Sorry.
And I'm gonna have Jude go up to the bar and just take a seat and steal some of the peanuts.
Oh. Hi. Didn't see you there.
Got a lot to think about.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know if I've even been that close to death. And somehow Sigurd just comes out the other side, like, stronger than ever. Like, what the heck? I don't know if I'm cut out. I don't know if I'm cut out for any of this stuff.
I mean, maybe it just takes time. I mean, he says he's older, so maybe once we're older, we'll feel more capable.
Yeah, maybe. I just think I think I'm still processing this. I think my brain is just a little slow right now.
Well, I have a couple of hours to kill if you want to play some games. Or I don't know.
I'll join you in a bit. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Although, if you wanted to take a nap, Sigurd's got a pretty sweet bed in the back there. So, you might want to ask him permission, though.
I mean, I already took a nap. I have my own bed.
Oh,
but
yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot you have your own place.
I mean, if you ever need a place to stay, I do have a pull-out couch.
I don't know. The benches at the Rowdy Cow are pretty good, as long as you get all the, like, spilt beer off of there. They're not bad.
Okay.
And then Slash just goes back to eating the peanuts.
Yeah, let me know which one you want to play, okay? And
all right, we'll do.
and wander over to Sigurd. But she's not going to say anything. She's going to wait behind until he's just about to do something and just tap on his shoulder and scare him.
I do jump a little bit, but I do finish at least up the game, and which isn't long. Like it's maybe all of 30 seconds longer before I lose the last ball. And I sort of turn and look you up and down and say, "Feeling all right there?"
Not really, but there's not much I can do. What have you been up to?
This mostly. Sure you're feeling all right?
I think both me and Slash need a little bit of time to process everything.
All right.
He's having some trouble over there.
Well, based on what I learned about him, I can understand why.
Do you just know everything now? Since you know about Slash? What did they tell you about me?
They told me that my job is now to make sure that you don't explode or something.
I don't know if I can explode. Aren't you the explodey guy?
Not so much anymore, but maybe I should have chosen different words. The point being, this is my courtesy way of telling you that my first job is to make sure that nothing weird happens around you.
I mean, I kind of figured as much, but I don't know if necessarily you hovering around will change whatever sort of bad luck I have.
I mean, I don't plan on like stalking you or anything. It's just I have to be nearby-ish. Agent Jensen wasn't very clear about what constituted keeping an eye, so I guess it's up to my discretion. Point being, we need to figure out what went on with Agatha, because as far as I know, she never showed up again. We also need to figure out what that whole shade business was last night. And we need to do something about him. And I sort of thumb over at Slash. I'm going to let him tell his own story, but rest assured he doesn't really have a happy family life. And I think that affects pretty much everything about him right now because he doesn't really have an anchor to fall back on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Has anybody weird been coming in here today?
I mean, kid we call Bobby came in and tried to tip over that machine over there. And I point at like a claw machine, but that happens every Saturday.
No, this lady came up to my apartment and was like grilling me about this missing kid.
Can you be more specific?
I mean, tall, poofy hair. She had this picture. I have her number. I mean, and she's gonna describe like the little scrawny kid in the photo. She's not gonna realize that she is describing somebody who looks like Slash, but she is basically describing a mini Slash.
Right, and something that just occurred to me, we are in the advent of technology. Would you have not just snapped a picture of it with your cell phone?
I mean, she could have. I don't think she would have.
Okay. It was a thought. So as you're describing this, I just sort of keep looking at Slash and I'm like, How old was this kid?
13, 14, 12. I don't know. I don't know kids.
Again, I'm going to let Slash tell his own story, but I think it's safe for me to have a younger brother. So maybe his younger brother's in trouble.
Do you think we should tell him?
I think you should tell him that whole crush third wheel thing he has going on. I think he trusts you more than me at the moment.
And she's just gonna have an uncomfortable smile for a moment and sure, I guess I'll tell him more bad news all by myself with no backup.
I mean, I can stand menacingly behind you.
No, she'll just let him play more pinball while she tries to figure out what to tell Slash.
I love it.
I think at this point, Slash has got the TV remote. He's gone behind the counter and picked out the TV remote for the TV at the bar. And every channel is just some sort of superhero thing. And he's just flipping and he can't. Everything's like, oh my God, I don't need to see this right now. Can't find a channel that has anything else on. It's just at the bar. So if you look at the bar, yeah.
She'll take the remote. I was gonna say phone. Take the remote, and she's just gonna put on Cartoon Network. Is this better?
I assume Uncle Joe's arcade has like an actual, even though it's got a CRT TV. It's not even like a big flat screen. It's an old like CRT that's been in the corner since like the 80s.
It's very crappy, very low tech.
Some beautiful, barely visible superhero cartoons are now on, which is a slight improvement.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jude. That's that helps.
I mean, it's not monsters.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I'm supposed to be afraid of my own shadow now.
I don't think so. I do have a question though. I know this is weird. I've never bothered to ask you what your deal is, but I mean, I know you're out and about all the time. Do you ever go home?
There's not really. It's a pain in the butt to get there, you know. I don't go often.
Okay, I'm only asking because I'm not sure if they were looking for you or what, but this lady, she came to my apartment with a picture of a kid who looks basically like you, except a little more cleaned up, preppy clothes. So I don't know if your parents are looking for you or something, but I mean, whether you want to go there or not, I'll help you whatever you decide.
I guess this is a question for the GM, and I don't know if I would be even able to get this answer, but did the picture have the same hair color as Slash does now? Because Slash has never really dyed his hair. Or does it have lighter hair color?
The description that she gives you and like the clothes, it describes James pretty much perfectly.
So you say someone came to you looking for this kid?
Yeah. Apparently to everybody in my apartment building. I don't know if they're just going door to door or what.
Did she say what happened to this kid?
Runaway, best I can guess.
Fuck.
I mean, do you know anything about this kid? I have her number.
Yeah, I think I do. I have a good feeling that's my brother. But if this person's working, this could all just be a trick. Okay, so my parents,
Mm-hmm.
They hate mutants. And me, I'm a mutant.
Do they know that being a mutant is genetic, or
I don't think they care. The moment that that they knew I was a mutant, they kicked me out.
Okay.
And they tried to get me sent away. So I
do you
haven't
want,
talked to them in 2 years.
what do you want to do about this? I mean, you don't have to do anything involving them. I'm not going to make you do that. But
I don't.
do you want to do anything about your brother, or do you just want me to like keep an ear out?
He was just as much of a dick about this as my parents, but he was young at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably just copying them. I don't know. Could maybe you call this this
Yeah, but
person
what should I
and
say?
maybe get some more info?
Should I say that I ran into a kid who might know somebody who knows somebody? Like, what should I tell her?
Well, I guess if you guys hang out with me, I'd be okay with meeting her. I don't
Okay.
want to meet her alone. It could be some sort of setup.
No, I'm not gonna make you do something alone. But
They still send mutants to camps, you know.
yeah, I know.
I don't want to go to that school either. It doesn't. Ugh.
I'm gonna see. I'll send her a message tomorrow. And then we can see about meeting up, put our heads together at least. Even if you guys don't go back to your parents, at least hopefully we can find him and you guys can go somewhere safe. I don't know.
Slash kind of like stares off into the distance for a second, and then has like a big eye. It's like, holy shit! Like, oh shit, dude. I never asked about you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I mean, things are going.
And what about like at home? Weren't you supposed to like help young me study like the whole night, and like that whole thing got ruined?
I mean, it happens. It's not your fault.
It's not my fault, but dude, I'm sorry.
And
None
she
of us
said-
should have to do this stuff.
I mean, there's not much we can do, but it'll be fine. And she'll just give Slash a small smile. It will be fine. I got it under control.
You sure?
She is not going to answer that, but is just gonna nod.
All right. I think that that little bit of confidence at least gives Slash a little bit of hope.
I think from this,
And he probably
this
walked off to play Pac-Man.
I was going to say, from this exchange, I think I'll let each of you decide. You can clear one of your conditions, because I think you are both supporting each other very well.
Beautiful. I'm
Nope.
slightly less hopeless.
And I lose Insecure.
I got those good Unleash Your Power rolls with -2 to it.
Oh wow, yeah, Hopeless is bad.
Yeah, hopeless is rough. But the door to the arcade, has like the bell on it, and it jingles, and in walks the lady that you saw before, and she walks in, looks straight at you, Jude, and she says, "I told you I'd be seeing you soon, darling."
Are you following me?
Oh, absolutely. I knew
I
you
don't know
would
who
lead
this
me
is.
right
Don't
where I
watch
needed to
the
go.
TV.
What do you mean?
And she just kind of walks past you and walks straight over to you, Slash. And she holds up the photo. I know you know who this is. I need to know where he is. Your parents want him home.
And who are you?
My name is Misty. I was hired by your parents to bring your brother home. It's pretty simple. I get paid when he gets home, and I want to get paid. Listen, he's out on the street dealing with some shady people.
And you don't have any clue where he is?
Oh, I have some clues. But like I told your friend, every string that I tug on in this mystery brings me right back to you two.
Can I attempt to no, it's not. I don't think I've talked to her enough to do this. Well, like, if you know anything about me, Misty, you know I haven't been home in 2 years. I have no idea what's gone on with my brother.
Well, I found out that he's been working with some shady characters lately. And from what I've seen from you, you kind of had your head down in this whole scene, if you will, in Boston. Is there anybody you know that could lead us to him? Or at least help me figure out where he is? If in fact you're not in contact with him.
I have the feeling, lady, that you know more than me. You don't even know what I've been doing in the last few days. I haven't even been doing things, and you know what? This is not a good time. Unless you know where he is and you're hiding that from me, I don't think we have anything to talk about right now.
And she digs in her pocket and she pulls out a tissue and she hands it to you and she says, "Here, will this help?"
Is it a special tissue or just a tissue?
It's just a normal tissue.
I ball it up and throw it in her face. Like, what the hell, lady? You're looking for help from me, and you're going to play games like this? Come on.
She says, "Listen, kid. I'm here to find your brother. He's in trouble. I thought that would mean something to you, but if you don't want to play, if you're not going to help me out, even on just, to help your own brother, look at it this way. There's a lot of things I could tell your parents. There's a lot of things I could tell the cops about what you've been up to. I know a lot of things. I told you, I'm going to find that kid no matter what."
Can I attempt to pierce the mask to
Sure.
try to kind of figure out what her deal is?
Yeah,
it's mundane.
Yeah, it's plus mundane.
I'm 0 in mundane. Nope.
Have you leveled up yet?
I think that levels me up.
Nice.
What does that get me when I level up? I don't remember.
So
You
off the
get
top
to
of my
take
head,
an
I think
advancement.
I think you take an advancement, and the advancement options are based off your playbook.
Okay.
And maybe it's because of everything you've been through, or maybe because she's in your face, but you can't read any other motives that she might have.
Okay. As much as I hate to say this, lady, I don't want to see anything bad happen to my brother. Tell me what you need. I'll try to help. I don't know how I can help you. Just tell me what you need.
Well, I'm not connected into whatever it is you kids do here in Boston. But my information is telling me that your brother is working for some shady people. So obviously, there's got to be somebody you could talk to who has their ears to the ground in this environment, who might know what your brother could be working on or who he could be working with or whatever. All I need to do is find him and I'll take him home. I just need...
Can I have a picture? The picture? I actually don't have a picture of my brother.
Yeah, sounds like my family. And she pulls out the photo and shows it to you. And it's James from, looks like maybe a year ago. He's older from when the last time you saw him. He's about the age that you were when you ran away.
I pocket the photo. And I say, well, there's not a lot of people I know. Well, there might be one. You got a phone number?
Yeah, your friend's got it.
Let me go talk to my my buddy, and I don't know how he would know, but who knows? Sometimes you gotta roll the hard six, you know.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica reference. I like that.
It's a great show, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't show it on any of these channels. They just show superhero shit.
Yeah, it gets a little old seeing some asshole flying around in spandex.
Yeah, seems uncomfortable.
Just
That's
listen.
why I wear a hoodie.
Listen. You seem like a good kid, and I'm sorry I came down hard on you. But if your brother's into something, you know, the people out there, he's young, he's impressionable, he could really get into trouble, he could really get himself hurt.
Well, I'll give you well, I'm not going to call you. I'll give you a text if I find anything out.
Yeah, you do that. And I'll be watching too.
Well, don't follow me. That's creepy.
Because, kid, you have no idea. And she goes to
I'm
walk
16
out.
years old. Don't stalk a 16-year-old boy.
And she says, well, there's money involved. I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever.
And as she walks out, she gives you a wink, Jude.
Probably about that time that Sigurd just sort of moseys on over and says, so who is she?
She followed me here.
Should I be concerned?
I mean, I'm concerned, but I'm more concerned for Slash right now.
I just look
So-
expectantly.
Supposedly, my brother, who was the goody two-shoes suck-up to my parents, ran away from home, and now he's into some bad shit. Fuck. And this Misty here was hired to find him.
Do we have any leads?
She seemed to think I would know the people involved or people that might have heard something. I just pull pranks with my friend Tony. And then whatever we do, if we still do it. I guess we go talk to Tony.
That's the best thing I got to do.
If he doesn't know, maybe he knows someone who does know. He's a little more immoral. I tend to keep him in line.
Right about what time is it, by the way?
It's probably getting closer to early lunch, like 11 o'clock.
If you guys go see Tony, can I meet you later?
I sort of look between Jude and Slash and end up on Jude and I say, remember how I said I had to sort of follow you around? Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
You-
getting lunch.
I'll meet you guys
You
after
could-
lunch.
Just FaceTime her if you're worried. You guys both have smartphones.
I've never used FaceTime. I'm not
I-
about to start.
I don't want you to FaceTime me while I'm at lunch. I mean,
Mid-bite.
do you want Find My iPhone on?
I don't even know what that is. I know enough to do a
She
call.
will just put an app on his phone so he knows where her phone is.
Slash
I'm-
puts his hands up. Hold on. Why, Sigurd, why do you have to watch her?
Because that's my first duty with my new job.
And what's the new job?
I mean, you were there. I mean, I kind of work for Mr. Jensen now.
Are you a member of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I technically.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's a thing, I guess. Sigurd, Jude can handle herself.
I mean,
I'm sure if we leave her alone for 2 hours,
2 hours.
you're not going to get in trouble.
I don't know. I
Here,
feel like
Here's some tracking. Now you know where I am.
Well, I know where your phone is, but what are we supposed to do if, like, the shadow things take you over or something to that effect?
I'll be back in 2 hours.
It doesn't take 2 hours to eat lunch.
Oh. How many places have you missed out on here, Sigurd? There's some great restaurants that take... You got to give some time to really appreciate here in Boston.
You're just gonna let Slash distract Sigurd while she leaves.
Do you want me to roll for that? I can
Go.
try to distract him with like...
Nope,
With
I'm
a
putting
skill.
myself off the page. You can't see me anymore.
Sigurd
You know, we could
decides
do-
and says, all right.
Oh, I actually can't grab it anymore. Oh, there we go.
You broke roll 20. There, she's got it. Yeah, she just walked out, Sigurd.
I just sort of sigh and I say to Slash, all right, so for the record, if something happens to her in the next 2 hours, I get to say I told you so later.
Yeah. I would hope you do say that. It's so fun to say that to people.
All right, let's go visit your friend.
All right, let's go visit Tony.
So how are we getting to Tony? Are you just going to show up at the parlor, or are you gonna? Is there another way that you would have to get a hold of him, like communication wise?
Slash does not like to use his phone, so he would much rather just show up. Tony's almost always there because he owns the bar. He runs the bar. The bar barely makes money, so he kind of has to do everything at the bar.
So you guys
And
make your way-
Slash has a flip phone, so it's not like he can do much.
So the Rowdy Cow, even though it's still very early in the day, is just packed full of people. So I'm going to drop you guys in. As you walk in, of course, as you said, Tony is there. There's also a few other people you may not have ever seen before. And then there's Dee, the girl who, remember he likes her t-shirt.
Yep.
But as the two of you walk in, Tony looks up and he goes, "Hey, what up, nerds?"
Tony, I see that you haven't lost a single shred of your sense of humor. But I do owe you an apology, dude.
Yeah. I see you brought your boyfriend. What's up, guys?
I just
Oh.
stand in the back menacingly, silent.
Tony, I come in close to Tony, like arm around the shoulder, like he's not really like he doesn't really like this scene, Bars and places like this, they make him a little nervous.
Yeah, he looks like a real weirdo. What's he wearing? What's that? It's like a tracksuit?
Actually, from what he told me, it's some sort of like Swedish fashion thing. I kind of like it. I think in like 2 years, everyone in this bar is going to be wearing it.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm not wearing that crap.
You said that about Yeezys, but look at your feet.
It's different. That's different.
I don't think so, Tony. But I'm sorry I didn't show up yesterday. I had some real strange shit. I ended up in a graveyard. There was something about a haunted knife. And I swear I'm not making it up this time.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, well, that money you gave me, I spent it on, I went over to Skinny Frank. He, hooked me up with some stuff, and then, it was a good time.
So, and I whispered to him, did you talk to Dee?
I mean, she's busy.
Dude, it's not going to happen if you don't say it to her.
She's...
You're older than me. Why am I the one that always has to push you towards doing stuff like this?
No,
you do crazy stuff all the time.
I got this. You don't have to tell me what to do. I mean, I've been around more girls than, I got this. I can handle this.
I then look to Dee and say, hey, Dee, can I get a beer? And you can tell from the inflection in his voice that he knows it's going to be a no.
And she gives you a sassy look. She's like, real cute / real cute.
How about a water?
And a little further down the bar, this guy, he looks over at you and he looks at Dee. He's like, I think this kid needs a milk.
Actually, do we have, Tony, do you have milk? Do you stock milk?
Tony laughs. No, dude, this is a bar.
Hey, dude, they don't have milk here. You're going to have to order something else.
And the guy looks over at you and he's like, you know what? Maybe you should step out of here. They don't allow children. Don't you have to be at school or something?
Dude, I got no issue with you. I'm sorry if I come off with a little bit of an attitude.
Dee leans over to you, / and she's like, these two guys are kind of shady. You might want to just give them some space.
Yeah, no problem. Tony, can you come over here for a second? And I move more towards like the back here.
And he's like, yeah, man, what's up? And he's watching what Sigurd's doing.
Yeah, Tony, don't worry about him. He's doing a paper on the interactions of lower class people, and like he has to just kind of study us, and like he's writing a paper. It's going to be big in like 10 years. He's going to do like some cool stuff. He's probably going to be a senator.
I don't know. He looks like one of those weirdos, like dress up at like the Renaissance Festival and plays like Dungeons and Dragons or something.
No, don't. That's insensitive because he has a skin condition, and it would be really rude to bring that up. Like, not cool. Below the belt kind of stuff. Don't say it.
Yeah. So what's going on, / What you got?
I don't know who to ask on this, so I'm coming to you, the person that I think knows the most of anybody here. And I show him the picture, and I say, I heard that this kid here is mixed up in some weird stuff, and I heard if we can find him, there's a cash reward.
And he leans in. Hey, man, that kid looks like you.
That's got to be a coincidence. I said the same thing when I saw the picture. But there's some weird, like, kind of tallish lady who's looking for this kid. I think she thought I was that kid. But there's some cash. We can make some money. Maybe you could actually remodel the bathrooms in this place.
No, we don't need to remodel the bathrooms. They're vintage. They're vintage.
Them not flushing is a pretty big problem, though, Tony.
Now, they said that urinal was built back in the Revolutionary War times. It's, it's a part of the charm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what all the reviews online say, too. You recognize this kid? Other than the resemblance to me?
I mean, I've never seen him before. What's he into?
I don't know. I just heard he's caught up into some bad stuff. Ran away from home or something.
I would ask Skinny Frank. I mean, he's not only the hookup for all sorts of things. He knows people. If you've seen him, he lives in the park,
Skinny
so he sees
Frank.
everybody.
Oh, he's got that weird limp, right?
Yeah, he smells real bad too, and sometimes
Whoa.
he's talking to things that he says he can see, but
You think you would know where this person is?
I don't know, man. He
You know what?
He would know.
It's worth a shot. And I got nothing better to do. I ain't going to school like this dumb nerd over here said. And I
And you know
point
what?
towards the guy at the bar.
And if he's just crazy, it's funny to watch him flick cigarettes at the ducks.
Yeah, I guess that is pretty fun. Not that I've ever done that. All right. Well, thanks, Tony. Maybe I'll. I don't know if I'll be in tonight to hang out, but if I do show up, let's raise some hell. I haven't done that in a little while.
Yeah. You don't have time to hang out anymore. Hanging out with your new friends. Your dungeon master over there.
Did I mention the haunted knife?
Yeah, it was Halloween, so it was probably some kid's knife.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh wait,
right,
wasn't
Tony,
that
I'll
the
see
name
you.
of that? Wasn't that the name of that stripper at that club?
Haunted knife?
I think that was her name.
You would know better than me. They don't let me into most of those places.
You got to sneak in the back. It's who you know.
That's true. Tony, I'll hook up with you later. I gotta talk to Sigurd over here.
All right, later, nerd.
Smell you later. And I go over to Sigurd and tell him about this skinny Frank.
All right. Where can we find him exactly?
He's usually in the park.
Yeah, Tony says he hangs out in the park. I think we're grasping at straws here. This Misty thinks I'm more connected with the with something, but I'm not. Me and Tony just pull pranks.
Yeah, I'm sure Tony's not using you at all.
Tony's harmless. He likes to pretend he's something, but he just owns this stupid little bar.
Uh-huh. Well, unless you want to pick a fight with those two yelling at you earlier, let's get out of here. Let's go check out the park.
Nah, I don't know those guys. I don't care. I'd rather not create a scene. Yeah, let's get out of here. D, thanks for the water.
Takes up. Yeah, you got it, sweetheart.
I said it sarcastically since she didn't actually give me the water.
And she actually didn't even like give you a look. She just kept doing what she was doing.
Yeah.
So while you guys are headed to the park, what is Jude up to?
I believe Jude said she was meeting Young Me for lunch. So
Okay.
after her test. So she is hoping to be able to catch her since she has over the past couple days apparently been avoiding her. Which isn't ideal. So I
I'm gonna
imagine
put you
she
in
waits
some.
outside of the actual classroom proper.
I'm gonna put you in some theater of the mind here. Yeah, and coming out of a classroom from her community college, you see Young Mean. There's a lot of other students walking out. And she's kind of got her head down in like a piece of paper, like a syllabus or something, and she doesn't even notice you until she almost runs into you and she looks up. Oh, hey, Jude.
Hi. How'd it go?
Well, it was hard stuff. It's getting harder and harder. I did my best though, so I guess that's all I can do.
That's all you can ask for. Did you still want to go get lunch?
Yeah, I mean, if you have time, I guess if you're not going off with your friends, gotta save the world. That's Jude.
I mean, I made time. Is there anywhere you'd want to go?
Well, I've got more homework to do. I thought I would just get something and take it back to the apartment. I'm sure you've got lots of other things you need to do anyway.
I'll go with you and we can study together for a bit. I'll help. I know I said I was going to help yesterday, but I definitely have time to help today.
Well, I don't have too much studying to do. I mean, the test was today. I've got lots of homework to do, but if you want, yeah, you could sit at the apartment. I'm just going to be working on stuff.
That's okay.
Oh, and I'm going to clean up the mess because Marcel came in with a dog and the dog tore up a part of the couch. So I've got to clean that up.
Well, I don't want you to worry about all these things, so let me take care of it and I'll make sure that everything gets done and fixed.
Jude, did you get to sleep last night? You look terrible.
Got a little bit.
And whatever happened to that lady?
She disappeared. I tried to help her and basically ran away from us, I guess I'd say. Which isn't great. I ended up bringing her all the way out to Salem and then had to make my way all the way back here. So I got in a little bit late because of that.
Wait, you took her all the way out to Salem? Jude, that's really weird.
I know. On Halloween.
What was this? What did she need all the way in Salem?
I still don't know. She said there was trouble and I wanted to help, and I keep helping people and making things worse. So I think today at least I don't want to do that for a little bit. Do you mind if I just stay home with you and help you with your homework?
Yeah, I guess it really sucks to hear that you blew me off when I needed your help to take some weird lady up to Salem for Halloween. And then you don't even know what happened to her.
I know. It all sounds very crazy.
And I think, Jude, what she's trying to do is she's trying to lower your freak and raise your mundane.
That's gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, let's grab lunch, grab some takeout, bring it home, and then see what to do from there.
Okay. That sounds good. There's a sushi place on the way home I've been wanting to try. They just opened up, which was funny because the last place that closed was a sushi place in the same location. But hey, maybe they'll get it right.
You think it might just be the same person trying to open up to get more business?
It could be, but it's going to work because we're going to go, right?
Yep.
Hey, I meant to mention it. This morning, there was this weird lady poking around outside the apartment. She told me that she was looking for you, and I told her I'd never seen you before. But just watch out for her. She looked pretty serious.
Yeah, she came by later in the day, and I told her to fuck off. So that's how my day is going.
Good. That's exactly what I wanted to tell her too, but I was in a hurry, so I just told her I'd never seen you before. Actually, I just acted like I didn't speak English, and I think she bought it.
Well, hopefully she doesn't come back. Because people keep turning up at our door, and I'm a little bit sick of opening it. I'll
You
do it
know
for
what
Marcel.
we
I mean, I told him he could stay over, so that's on me. But I mean, everybody else, whatever.
Well, have you seen Marcel? Have you met Marcel's mother?
Yeah, she's not nice. I mean, from what he tells me, at least.
I think you're right. I think what we should do is we should just pick a day and just get in the car, rent a car, and just go hiking in Maine or something and leave all these crazy people behind, and they can knock on somebody else's door.
I mean, there's plenty of doors in the building.
She is trying to lower your savior and raise your mundane again.
Sure. She'll go along with it.
And I guess with
And
that, she
then-
starts to head off towards this new sushi place or new old
Yep.
sushi place.
They'll probably both go there, and then I'm assuming at some point Sigurd is gonna try to track them down, but she is not going back to the arcade, at least for a couple of hours. Definitely over the 2 hours that she said she was going to spend.
Okay. Moving on to the park. So Sigurd and Slash, as you guys are making your way through, it's turning into another gloomy Boston day at this time of year. So there's not much sunlight. It's getting ready to rain. The leaves have fallen and everything. Not too many people are in the park, but as you're walking around, this is normally where Skinny Frank hangs out. But you haven't seen him yet.
Hey, Siggy, when you were in that weird, other place, did any of it look like this?
If the sky was pitch black, the stars were screaming fireballs, and the grass was a bed of flame, then yes.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it sucked, dude.
I'm just messing with you. It actually was just kind of just like if you did the invert filter on whatever program it is you do that on.
Oh, that gives me cross-eyed. I don't like that.
Yeah, it was just pretty much this, just inverted.
Well, I don't see this Skinny Frank guy around. Huh. I guess we got to take a look. We got to keep walking around this path. I noticed the other tokens on the board.
Yeah. So advancing for you, not advancing towards you, they're not being too discreet about it. It's the two guys from the parlor, and they're both kind of looking at each other, laughing at encouragement. They walk towards you. And the one guy that said that you needed a glass of milk Slash, he looks at you and goes, "Hey, you too. So, we need to check something. Come over here."
No.
I just sort of stare at him like he's an idiot.
And then the taller, skinnier one looks at him and laughs. He's like, "Okay, it's going to be like that again, you know. Not too many people make it easy on us, but I guess we're going to have to." And the skinny guy, he actually pulls out a syringe. And he's like, "Well, you know, I guess we could get a little sample this way, but it's usually easier if you come quietly."
Before whatever is going to happens, can I ask you guys a question? Do you know someone named Misty?
And the guy, the shorter guy that's, you know, got the mohawk, he looks over at you. He's like, "What, is that your girlfriend?"
Nah, I can't pull someone that good looking.
Like, "Okay, last chance. If you come over here, my friend here is just going to take a little blood and you can go about your day. Otherwise, it's going to get a little nasty and you might get hurt. Actually, you will get hurt."
So, doing my best Captain America impression, I am going to use my soldier move, No You Move. I'll do the role play for it in a second, but basically when you demand an NPC live up to a higher moral code, you may roll plus savior on a hit, blah, 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 blah. And basically what I'm going to say is, I have a better idea. You could not syringe random kids, random teens in the middle of parks in the middle of the day, and especially with someone you don't really want to mess with. So how about you just leave, and I'll pretend I never saw your face.
Sounds good. You've also got 3 team still sitting there.
I'm going to spend one of it.
Wow. Okay. So you crushed that.
All right.
Oh, that that's pow.
So not only on a hit, they have to meet your standard or mark a condition, but because it's a 10 plus, I also take influence over them as well.
I will say the tall guy, when you say this, he sort of like drops the syringe and backs up a bit. And the shorter guy that with the mohawk is like, "Hey, we, you know, didn't mean to start any trouble. We're just out here to do a job. You know, don't want to get your feathers in a ruffle."
1 second, jet overhead. Now that the jet's gone. Well, how about you do this? How about you tell me what it is you're supposed to be doing and who you're working for?
They both kind of exchange glances. Well, what? And the taller guy's like, "Man, you can't tell him that. You know who that guy is. We'll get killed." He's like, "Well, man, you see this guy? He's like an Avenger or something." All right, I'll tell you. Okay, I don't exactly know the guy's name. I've seen him coming around back and forth. Real creepy guy. He's got like some kind of lab coat or something. I don't really know. But what they do is they hire us to, you know, drug people and do this little test on them. And if they've got the right blood type, we take them to this little, you know, warehouse or something. I mean, I don't know what they do there. That's our job. We take them and then we get paid.
Lab coat. He wouldn't happen to be, and I describe a certain doctor.
I've seen him. I mean, he doesn't come there too often. I've seen that guy. We don't really even ask too many questions. You know, they pay us. He's,
Right.
scary looking nerdy guy, real Silence of the Lambs type,
Could I try to pierce the mask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. It's plus mundane. That's one question. What are you really planning? What
How
do you
do
want
I-
me to do? Oh, go ahead.
How do I get your character to scram?
Oh, they're ready to do that right away. They were
Okay,
they were very
perfect.
intimidated by Sigurd's display. They're ready to go.
So I kind of just do like I'm like standing behind Sigurd, and like every time he says something, I'm like, yeah, this guy.
Right.
They're ready to bolt.
I don't know what your names are, and frankly, I don't care. Starting right now, you have different employment. Is that understood?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you won't see us in this park no more.
Hey,
No.
Sigurd,
Not just this
Get-
park.
get-
I mean, if
get
I
one of
run
the
into you
phones.
again,
get me one of their phones.
I'm not going to get you their phone.
I could hack it.
No. I
Hey.
say, look, just I don't want to see you again. I don't want you freaking that bar. You're just going to find new places to hang out. Are we clear?
How about this? I'll tell you that warehouse if you promise you won't ever come after us. You leave us alone. Fair trade?
For now.
We don't need no Avenger coming after us.
Hey, Tony didn't put you up to this, did he?
That little shit. And
He is a little shit.
We don't need Captain Puerto Rico or whatever coming after us. We don't need that. We're just trying to make a living. It's hard. It's hard. Things are hard. It's hard times. We got inflation and recession and all that.
So we get the location of the warehouse, and then I say something appropriate, and they run off.
Yep, they disappear.
And I think I text Jude that says, "Hey, we got a lead about your doctor guy. Maybe you in?"
Yeah, she's gonna reply, yeah, I'll be there at 5.
Works
And
for me.
then I pat Sigurd on the shoulder and say, fuck. We should have shown them the picture.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020, but with those folks, they probably would have just made something up.
I bet those assholes got my brother and took him to this warehouse or whatever it was.
Well, maybe we should scope it out right now then.
Maybe my brother's if he ran away from home, maybe he's a mutant too.
Do your parents not like mutants?
They hate them.
My condolences. But I suppose that tracks. If he is a mutant like you are, then yeah, we should probably go right away. I text Jude back and I say, new plan. We need to be there right away.
And she'll respond, I'll see what I can do.
And then, yeah, I guess Sigurd and Slash head in that direction.
And the whole time, Slash is saying, like, and this is the kind of stuff that mutants have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
So we cut back to Jude and Young Mi, and you guys are eating sushi, and coming to find out the menu is pretty much exactly the same as the old menu. I think you might have caught it, Jude, that they just rebranded themselves. And that's when you've been getting the text messages, and Young Mi she's been sort of ignoring you as you've been on your phone. And then she looks up. Let me guess, you've got to go, right?
Am I that easy to read?
Well, I kind of thought that this was too good to be true.
Would it help if I told you why? Or are you just going to look at me like that?
She says, I don't know if I want to hear what's more important to you than me. Maybe it's best if I don't know. And she says, maybe I'll go back to the apartment and do my homework and start planning that trip like I was talking about. Maybe it's going to be a solo trip after all.
I never said that. I don't.
But could you realistically tell me that you would put down your phone and not run off to see your friends if we tried to do something? We can't even get through a meal together.
Okay. I'll keep you in the loop. I will be back before dark, even if I have to leave them hanging. Is that okay?
Well, I guess if it's okay or not, it doesn't really matter. You're going to do what you're going to do.
I'll see you in a bit.
All right, bye. And she doesn't even look up as you get ready to leave.
She leaves the rest of her plate there and just starts heading out, sending Sigurd a text. If this was not this important, I would not be meeting you guys. Where am I going?